Myers Company in association with its divisions.
All rise, open your eyes, no need to explain. I got a homie from the east and I'ma tell you his name. Never hang around lames, that's a part of his game. And if you show deep respect, he'll show you the same. Jeff undercard boxing, shook the world when he came. A lot of cats is playing, but his hands are insane. You can get steamrolled if you stand in the way. He a yardie from Flatbush, you cowards his cat puss. We used to feud like Bishop and Q, but he'll fuck you up quick if I give him the cue. From the city of Midwood, the south central part of New York, next to Bensonhurst and Borough Park. If it's a problem, don't even say shit. Just face this when you come across the Bay Bridge. No tolerance for BS or fake kids. Your blood clot crying. Just stop trying. Is Jeff Undercard prepared for the assignment? He bringing the appliance so cowards can't fight it. He might yoke you up if he feels slighted. He's spreading out toxins. It's undercard boxing. Yeah. Mad love and respect to my brother, man. From the motherland, word 'em up.
Sunday Showcase, made possible by a public service grant from the National Endowment for the Arts and Bristol Myers Company in association with its divisions.
What's going on, fight fans? How you doing today? See you got undercard and boxing. Good morning to everyone. Hold on, getting back to the chat. Thomas Hills, blessings, brother, blessings. Much light, peace, and blessings to the brother man from the motherland, Jeff C. Shout out to the great brother Judah Ben. Facts. All the graces, us in the chat. Terry Schmook, good morning. Good morning, Terry. How's everyone doing today? Get up on the screen. Give the fits like DW Chain. Blessings. We're gonna jump right into it, fellas. How we doing today? How's everyone doing? Great weekend. We got a stack. We got a 3 cards stack weekend. I've already got them lined up for you guys. Doing something a little bit different so that way now I can carry you guys over and show you what's really going on. So we have the first fight card, which will be starting at 2 p.m. on dazn match room in the O2 Arena. You have 8 fights on this fight card. We're going to start from the bottom and work our way up. We have Mary Rose Courtney versus Gemma Ruggs, 3-0 versus 7-7. Brandon Scott, 0-0, making his professional debut versus Lewis Norman, 14-13. George Lillard, 3-0 versus Bass Osweight, 5-1. Campbell Hatton, the son of and famous father Ricky Hatton, 12-0 versus Tom Ansel, 10-4. Then you have Johnny Fisher, heavyweight, versus Harry Armstrong. You got Flip Herkovich versus Demise McKinney. You have Derek Chisora versus Gerald Washington. And then you have Anthony Joshua versus Robert Hellenius. Go back a second. So I just ran through really quickly the fight card for good morning undercard. Yeah, so yeah, I asked about that information. I'm gonna try to get you some information today. I did reach out to a few people and see if I can get you some of those answers. So the DAZN card starts at 2 p.m. As you know, Anthony Joshua had to change his opponent because Dillian White tested positive for PEDs. So now he faces Robert Helenius. Helenius last fought on Saturday. So not only is he been preparing for a fight, he literally had a fight a week ago and is sanctioned to fight Anthony Joshua in the UK this Saturday. Ooh, morning. Probably need some water or something. Maybe some tea. Do you guys think super early in the morning? Thank you for trying to build where we talk the boxing fight cards. We go over everyone that's fighting, and we dive into it a little bit. You know, Joshua Helenius. If you notice, there's about 4 heavyweight fights on this card, and whenever you're dealing with the heavyweight division, anything is possible. You know, it only takes one punch. You have Derek Chisora versus Gerald Washington, and Gerald Washington is coached by Malik Scott. So Malik Scott, who coaches Deontay Wilder, gets to pretty much observe and watch and witness, you know, Anthony Joshua in his fight versus Robert Helenius. He can literally get him a scouting report. He can see what he's working on. He can see how he reacts to certain things. He pretty much has a front row seat to that fight that will come up. Well, God willing, will happen in December between Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. So a lot of good things are happening in the sport of boxing. After we finish with these fight cards, we'll go over some of the fight cards that have been Robert Helenius is or was his sparring partner in the past. So he definitely is going to be very familiar with who Robert Helenius is and what he presents to the table. People don't just necessarily change so dramatically between camps or between fights. So it's probably going to be very similar to who he's accustomed to sparring. Now, AJ, who has been getting some elite sparring and elite work with Derek James, might present Robert Helenius with a different task than previously, known. So I'm excited for the prospect of that. I still think Anthony Joshua gets this fight done, probably ends it with a knockout. And I think it helps build the Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder happening in December in Saudi Arabia. Gerald Washington used to play football at USC as a defensive end, super athletic, still learning the craft. Should be a fairly good fight indeed. Yeah, that fight. So he's fighting Chisora. Derek Chisora. All right, so I'm gonna put this back up. Hopefully you guys can see it. Let me just add it to the stream real quick. So yeah, so I don't necessarily see a lot of upsets on this card. I ask because there's a possibility, when you have a late replacement, similar to how Andy Ruiz was versus Anthony Joshua. Excuse me. He did get upset in that fight, but that's that he's a different Anthony Joshua than the one that Robert Helenius is fighting now. So, any other comments you guys want to make on this DAZN card? The DAZN card starts at 2 p.m. All right, guys, 2 p.m. DAZN. I believe they've taken it off of DAZN pay-per-view. It will be on regular DAZN now, so you won't have to pay an additional price to watch Robert Helenius versus Anthony Joshua. Good for us and the people who support boxing that we don't have to spend an additional money to watch this fight. It's gonna kind of hurt AJ's pockets because he was expecting a bigger payout by putting Dillian White versus Anthony Joshua on pay-per-view. But people have to stay clean and do what they're supposed to do. All right, so I'm gonna remove this one. And we're gonna go to the second fight card, which is Navarrete. Two p.m. Eastern. Yes. That is correct, Thomas Hill. 2 p.m. Eastern. So the next one we have is Navarrete versus Oscar Valdez. All right, this is a top-ranked card. This fight will be taking place in Glendale, Arizona. I think they keep changing the time card because this one says 10, but it states that it's going to be at 9 o'clock. Maybe they just keep moving around so they can literally compete with the Showtime part that's happening later that day. So we're going to start from the bottom. We have Emilio Vargas, 5-0 versus Jorge Luis Marquez. You have Sergio Rodriguez versus Eduardo Alain. You have Antonio. Hold on, let me just jump to who will be features on the prelims. You have Richard Torres versus Willie Jake Jr. You have Lindolfo Delago versus Jair Vatir. And you have Emmanuel Navarrete versus Oscar Valdez. Now, Robert Mortayel, or AKA Cheese, was supposed to be on this card, but suffered. Good morning, Just Do Boxing, but suffered a injury, either before the card could take place or during training camp, so he had to pull out. And I think that would be an interesting fight for him to be on this card. Hopefully, Josh can tap the tail real quick, so he won't his suspension more than the allowed time and get the Wilder fight to close the year. Yeah. I mean, that's what we all want to see because everyone is we are pushing to see Wilder versus Anthony Joshua. People says it's too late. Nah. That's still a good fight. It's still two heavyweights, two guys who have been at the top of the division for a lot of years. This is how you close out. Say if you want to move on with the heavyweight division, those fight needs to take place so that way you can close the chapter and you don't have to ask those questions. Or he had 3 belts, or he had 1 belt. He was better. He was not better. Let's get in the ring, fight each other, and then we can put it close to that chapter. What's good, Just Do Boxing? Salute to you, bro. Thanks for pulling up. So you have Emmanuel Navarrete versus Oscar Valdez. This is for Navarrete's 130, 100 WBO title. According to some news reports, he had to strip down to make weight, which means he's either not comfortable at this weight or he's not disciplined. Valdez made weight rather quickly, rather easily, but ever since not only the loss to Shakur Stevenson, but when he was caught doing PEDs, I've seen a slip in his performance. I've seen a Will he be passive in this fight or aggressive? We're gonna have to wait and find out. Um, I think the betting favorite will probably be Oscar Valdez because of his punching power. And I think maybe this fight goes 12 or someone gets knocked out, but it's hard to definitively say who wins this fight. As you can see with the top ranked card, not a lot of named fighters that we're going to recognize. They are building up some heavyweights on top rank, and they're doing a good job of it by placing them with opponents with good morning, Karma. How you doing today? They're doing that by building up the heavyweight fighters, putting them in fights that we believe that they're going to win, and not really testing them as of yet. But they do have a lot of heavyweights on the roster, and this is going to be on ESPN, not Plus, and you can always start this fight card. I believe starts at 9 p.m. So after the Joshua versus Salinas, then you have the Navarrete versus Valdez fight. Any fights on this card that you guys want to discuss? How do you guys see the Navarrete versus Valdez playing out? Is Valdez still that puncher that he used to be when he knocked out Burchell? Or since he's been caught using the juice, has he taken a step back and hasn't fully recovered both with his confidence or who he is as a boxer? Because I think that takes a hit too when everyone, when you get caught cheating, your performance takes a Morning Just Do. Great show. Absolutely. Salute to the big Brody Just Do Boxing. Always pulling up, showing support. Thank you to everyone that's in the chat with me today. I thank you. So right now we're just talking about the top rank card. We just discussed the DAZN card. And, this is kind of these two cards, the outcome of the fights are not, I wouldn't say not in question, but you have a hard time seeing an upset. And if one guy is winning the main event, it's not really an upset. It's like he was the champion, he should have won, or he's the bigger puncher, he's already been at this division, he should have won. So either way, I think we get a good classic style fight. Hopefully it lives up to the hype of the Mexican versus Spanish. I'm not sure what Navarrete is, but that's how they're marketing the fight. So hopefully that, we get a barn burner, maybe a fight of the year candidate, and, each guy comes out healthy. And we look forward to what's next for both of them. If any heard a fight with O'Shaquie Foster unification and still hasn't gotten one. I believe O'Shaquie Foster now has a mandatory challenger at 130. So he's either going to face that, he's either going to make a unification fight or fight that mandatory challenger in order to keep his belt. Honestly, I thought Lopez gave the fight away against Valdez in the last fight. So Navarrete can definitely walk away with the dub if he's on his ish. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem that Oscar Valdez is too keen to let his hands go in fights now. Before he was a free puncher, he would, take two to give out one. But now he looks a little gun shy to me. From what I observed in his last fight, he did say he was battling a rib injury. He did want to make the fight, but I thought he postponed the Navarrete fight because he was injured. So you were injured, you postponed the title fight to take a tune-up fight, still injured, and you look like shit in the tune-up fight. Oh yeah, you gotta subscribe to Kama. She's always dropping the people's birthdays. She's got good boxing content. I'm over there, that's why she's over here. But two things for sure, this bout will determine if indeed was PEDs that was given to him and the extra boost in his prior fights. Yeah, we're gonna see. and you never know. Sometimes the pressure is so big on like this type of stage, or the outcome, that a guy goes back to what he's accustomed to doing, like the Dillian White. Dillian White was going to get a big payday to fight Anthony Joshua, and blew that whole opportunity by testing positive for PEDs. But that's because he wanted an edge versus Anthony Joshua. So, let's hope that you don't fall back into his familiar ways. Ain't no Earl Grey tea gonna save him this time when he tells everyone that's the reason why he tested positive for PEDs. All right, so I'm gonna remove this, and we're gonna bring up, last but not least, gotta save the best for last, or that's what they normally do. We're gonna bring up, last but not least, 1 second, Emmanuel Rodriguez versus Lopez. That is the third and final card for the night. So think about it. If you guys have all these, you're going to be on dazn in the midday, Top Rank, and probably overlap with some Showtime to end off the night. So if you're a boxing fan, you don't got to go anywhere today. You just stay home and enjoy all of this boxing content. I think that's amazing. I think that's great for the sport of boxing. Giving us fight cards we actually want to see. 1 second. And they actually have some good undercard fights on this thing as well. Oh, no, they did change it. Okay. All right. So, Showtime presents promotion TGB, owner Tom Brown. The venue is Ox Hill, Maryland. We have 10 bouts on this card. Hold on. Let me see. I'm getting what I'm getting. Man, this thing moving slow. Oh, it's already up there. Okay, cool. All right. So let's discuss this this 10 bout card presented by Showtime. Let's go to, we have Jesse Hart, 28-3 versus Elio Hurtado. Jesse Hart was talking spicy. We have Jose Benavidez Jr., 27-2-1 versus Sanda Jahan, 35-15. Hold on. It's getting better. You have Mike Agelli, 8-0 versus Jonathan Lopez, also undefeated. You have Marcus Brown versus Adrian Taylor. You have Gabriel Machesta versus Trayvon Marshall. You have Gary Antoine Russell versus Kent Cruz. Kent Cruz missed weight on the scales. He did not come in at the 140-pound limit. He had 1 hour to make the weight. He didn't make the weight, and their concession had to be made. Then you have Emmanuel Rodriguez, 21-2 versus Melvin Lopez, 29-1. Let's talk about it. Can you guys see my screen? How's the screen showing? I can't see. Because I can't see the full screen. Can y'all see the full screen? So that is they did change the time. The 9 o'clock Showtime card will then be followed by the 10 p.m. Top Rank card. So I don't know if they scattered it or realized that they were probably going to be on at the same time. But yeah, that's what they did. Picture in, picture layout. Yeah. All right. So any upsets you guys see on this card? So there's a non-televised portion. Jesse Hart will not be televised. Daniel Bicas will not be televised. Jose Benavidez will be televised. It'll be on the YouTube page of Showtime. Daniel Vargas will be televised. Michael Angeletti will be televised. And of course, the main event, Trayvon Marshall versus Trayvon Marshall, Gary Antoine Russell, and Emmanuel Rodriguez will be the last will be the last fights on that 3-fight on the card. Boop, 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 boop. Copy. Paste. Once again, thank you for everyone that's pulling up. So yeah. This thing is still loading. Let me stop sharing real quick. All right, so let's just discuss the fight card on Showtime. Emmanuel Rodriguez pretty much fighting back for his IBF belt that he lost to Naoya Inoue by knockout versus Melvin Lopez. I believe Melvin Lopez is on a winning streak. So this is for the vacant IBF bantamweight title. You have Gary Antoine Russell versus Kent Cruz, 2 undefeated fighters at super lightweight. We all know that Gary Antoine Russell was given a title shot versus Puyo, but decided to turn it down and rehash after his last fight with Ramses Bartholomew. And rising star at welterweight, Trayvon Marshall versus Gabriel Matraeus is a 10-round welterweight fight, and he only has about, I believe, 8 fights. So this is not only a step up in his competition, but a step up in the amount of weights. And something that he discussed during the time of the press conference was there's eventually going to be a changing of the guards. The belts might be scattered and free. And we as the boxing fans want to know who is coming up next. And I couldn't agree more. I dropped the link in the chat for anyone that wants to pull up. We can talk about some of the topics that's been, going crazy over the internet. And we can discuss some of the fight cards. Hit the link, come up. I'm gonna touch on the Boots versus Bud. Bud saying that it's a lose-lose situation to fight the likes of a Jerome Boots Ennis, but would entertain the likes of fighting a Tank Davis. I think his perspective is that my bad. Need a little 30-second. I might just pop up with you. Just do you always welcome, bro. I always welcome your perspective. When I'm in the chat, let's see your talking points. You're always fair. You know what I mean? You shoot us right down the middle. Salute, Skills from New Orleans. Salute. Yeah, so but listen, things happen when you become as everyone is crowning you a 2-time undisputed champion. You think that comes with a certain kind of cachet, which allows you to then carry yourself and do things out of the norm. I'm not going to question Bud, but I think he just has to do it. Him and his team have already, from what I've observed, been operating from a point of delusion. Yes, he has the skills. Yes, he's marketable. Well, excuse me. Yes, he has the skills. Yes, he can fight. But has Bud in one fight done enough to garner what Tank has done over a 6 to 7 fight clip? What Canelo has done over a 6 to 7 fight clip? And the answer is no. He has to understand that you don't just have to take one good fight and become a star. You have to take multiple fights against multiple opponents, win, lose, or draw, and that's how you become a star. You understand? But listen, when you're hot, and nothing's better than being hot and trying to strike while the fire's hot. I don't think realistically a fight with Tank and Bud is possible. Um, I think like Tank has said, and he's been very quiet since he's came out, and his team's been quiet, which means I think something is definitely brewing over there at GTD. And when he pops out and he's ready to, step back on the scene, I think it's going to be a problem for, what his intentions are, how he's going to go about it. And you definitely know that those guys carry themselves with class. But if you don't want to fight Boots and you want to move up, I mean, I think that's good for you and good for the sport of boxing. Um, you've always been the guy to fight your mandatory challengers, so nothing should be different in this one. But you do have the right to do what you want. Just make sure that you're paying attention to the stratosphere of your career. You're 36. You're two-time undisputed. You're a multi-division champion. Um, you're in the Hall of Fame. You've already got your hands casted. Tread lightly on your next move. It's a lose-lose translation. I don't want the fight. Oh, we already knew that. Oh, yeah. It's just as solid as they come, bro. Yeah, just as solid as they come. Absolutely, man. Since I joined this YouTube community, I've met some real ones that have literally taken me under their wing and showed me the way, or have guided me and showed me how to approach certain things, how to move. So, anytime I get an opportunity to give back, to share, I always try to do that the best that I can. And that's why, I enjoy when people hit the link, come up, talk boxing with me. Like 3 fight cards, it's not a lot of drama filled in those cards. It's more like good fights. Not one that's going to, you have to rack your brain about the winner. We expect most of the A-side fighters to perform how they've normally been performing, and then we look for what's next with them. So, there are some toss-up fights, but not big or major toss-ups where you kind of are stuck between a rock and a hard place trying to decide who's going to win. It's just depending on who shows up that day. But yeah, what else has been going on in the news? Let me see. Boxing scene and bad left hook has always been good places to go. Not for, let's say, the drama, but they'll talk more keenly about fights going on, or give you an update or which way someone's leaning. Let's see. If I promote Joshua, I make him fight Fury next. Frank Warren, that's hilarious. Oh. Yeah, did you guys watch the Albert Bell fight over on dazn yesterday? You got a knockout victory. There's a lot of companies popping up, and because dazn has opened up their platform, they've opened up their platforms that now, if you're a promotional company, you can now use dazn as your streaming site for your events. So this is what's been good for the sport of boxing, because now we're getting to see more cards put on all around the world, and then screened on dazn, so that way us, the boxing fans, can watch it and enjoy it. And if you've already been paying for like a dazn subscription, now there's not just the Saturday fights that are popping up, but there are fights all over the during the course of the week that you can sit back and enjoy. Overtime promotion, BXNG TV, just do boxing, popping up. What up, my brother?
What's good, bro?
Oh man, blessed that I'm here, blessed that I can talk this boxing, and blessed to enjoy a sport that I love each and every day, not just on Saturdays.
You already know. Full day of boxing is always a good day. and that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm gonna watch as much of this as the action as I could. I heard you talking about Albert Bell last night.
Yeah. Just returned on the zone card. Yeah, got the knockout.
Looking impressive. Well, I like him because he ain't a big puncher, but he's continued to win, and I like to see that his skill over power, and that's what he is. Skill over power, man. I like Albert Bell. Been watching him for some years, so it's about time he start getting his shine. I think that win last night put him in line for the winner of Valdez and Navarrete. I think that's what they said.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, I think so. I think that put him in a position to fight the winner.
Let me see. Let's say anything about it. Okay. To me, I didn't get any information about it being a title eliminator, but I think that's good for the sport of boxing. We want to keep seeing fights being made.
I got to double check. I think he said that in my DM. I got to look check.
Was there any updated news on Shakur Stevenson and who he's going to be fighting? I've been hearing rumors that it may be Frank Martin after all. Since
I see them moving. You know, I hear the whispers about it. I just wish they'd go ahead and do it so people could shut up. When I say watch, and I remember we were just talking about this the other day, and certain people wanted to come through my chat being weird. So I want them same people, like when I know I remember who it was in specific, telling me to bet my whole check and talking weird. Like that's weird energy, but I definitely do it. I better check that Shakur beat Frank Martin. And it's crazy how the people that's advocating for him beating Shakur can't name 4 of his fights. It's sad, yo. You can't name 4 Frank Martin fights, but you'll talk about who he beat. And I like the dude when he's talented, but it's just I don't know. I think people be prisoners of the moment. You can't tell me you look at Frank Martin and then you watch Shakur fight and you say they the same exact skill level. You just can't. You can't convince me that. You can't. And it ain't me being no fan. It's me being real. Like it's the reason you've been knowing about the kid since he was a teenager. I say this all the time. Frank Martin started boxing a lot later, man. So, and I feel like that's what it come to haunt him in a fight with Shakur. You ain't gonna be no guy that picked up boxing late and just get in there. I think had your way with him. I think it's gonna be the other way around. I just seen him struggle a little bit with Artem. And I called it out. I told people they a little biased towards Frank Martin. When Frank Martin got tested, it was out. He just got tested. He looked good, this, and that. He lost 3-4 rounds, arguably, right? Keyshawn dominates his opponent. Probably don't even lose a round. And what people say, he was supposed to knock him out. He should have did better than that.
Yeah.
Yo, y'all full of shit. And then I'm here to tell people now that Frank Martin and Keyshawn Davis fight is a lot closer than what people think. They exaggerate. See, I'm a realist. Like how good you think Frank Martin, the best, absolute best boxing got to offer? He is a top fighter for sure. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying, but you think he levels above a guy that got Olympic pedigree? Like, be real. Yeah. Think about it. Yeah. Like people just don't be thinking when they talk. I'm telling you, man.
I think that counts for something also.
Yeah.
Do you think that's the fight that should be made, Frank? But I think if Frank Martin had a chance for a belt or to fight another prospect, I think he'd take the opportunity to fight for a belt.
Right. You know what I want to see personally? Frank Martin and Shakur. Because everybody advocating for it. And I just want to show people the difference between the fighters that I picked to win and the ones that I know going to win. I know 100% he can't beat Shakur. He can't and he won't. I've seen about three of his fights where he had issues. And I'm like, nah, that guy doesn't beat him. I'm just sorry. It'll be a good fight. I ain't saying he get dog walk. It'll be a good fight. I guarantee you, he start getting picked apart. That's what I think. Think he relied too much on athleticism sometimes. I think the whole notion that he wanted to be a dog, you get what I'm saying? It's smarts, bro. Like you haven't shown to be a smarter fighter than Shakur. And you ain't got like no crazy concussive power. So I'm not worried about you knocking him out. And I just don't think you'll outthink him. I almost know you won't. You know what I'm saying? I just can't wait till the fight happen. Because the same people that was in my chat talking this Frank Martin garbage and bet your whole check, I promise you I want to bet them people. Let's bet. I guarantee you he beat that man. And it's nothing against Frank. He's a good fighter, but we talking about a generational talent as opposed to a dude that didn't know he wanted to box all his life. See,
This is what it
little
for,
things like that might come to be a factor when you fighting a guy like Shakur. He been doing this shit out the crib, man. It's just a different mentality. So hopefully, man, I hope that's the fight that's coming, because Lomachenko not only turned Shakur down, he turned down a career high payday too. So, and with a chance for a title. So all those people justifying and talking about he won't fight for a vacant title, why not?
Can he fight for Bacon in the second fight?
You get what I'm saying? If that's not enough, a career high payday ain't enough to get you in the ring, bro. You serious?
Word.
So Lomachenko is suspect. Hopefully they while they're going down the line, they just don't conveniently skip over Frank Martin, because I personally want to see the fight.
Yeah.
I'm just tired of people talking about it, and I'm gonna show all the people that can't name 3, 4, or 5 of his fights why he wasn't gonna beat him. That's why I just want to see. I just want to see it, man. And I like him, but I ain't straddling no fence no more, man. Dudes, I ain't picking nobody to beat Shakur at 135 at all. Nobody.
Here goes Skills hit list. Skills said he wants Bud versus Boots. He wants Wilder versus Fury 4. And he wants Gary Antoine versus Regis and Tank versus Shakur.
Right.
Man, I think you just asked for the best year of boxing, Skills.
Right.
4, I wouldn't even mind. 4 in neutral grounds or in Saudi, where we could check those gloves. Yeah, I'll take it. Listen, the thing that people don't understand is when you rock with your favorite fighter, win, lose, or draw, you don't you're not gonna tell them not to fight. That's what they do.
Yeah, hell no.
I would want to see Wilder versus Fury. Wow, after he knocked him, it don't matter. We still rock with Wilder. Because he lost, we didn't just go over and say, all right, Fury's the man. We give him his respect and his just due.
Yeah.
But Wilder is still who we solidify and 10 toes down and rocking with. Yeah. That's the difference that people don't understand when, like, with your fan. Like, Errol lost, and you have more people supporting him in his loss than people supporting Bud in his win.
Right.
But that's because they rocked with the person. They didn't rock with just the winner, like the undefeated record. They didn't rock with the fact that he was undefeated at the time. That wasn't that wasn't the cachet that he was like, yo, bro, I'm undefeated. Be my fans. Like, nah, it's how he carried himself. It's who he was as a man, who he was as a family person, and who he was as a boxer. That's why I was like, I support that guy.
Right. Absolutely. It's been a great year. I think it's just gonna keep getting better. Shit, they gave us Hitchens. They giving us Hitchens and Zepeda too. Another good fight, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I came across my thing, and you actually, I sent it to you, and you were like, yeah, I talked about it. And I was very surprised. But
the dub be on it, man.
Hell of a step up.
Yeah. L-Dub info be on, spot on. Everything he told me, he told me what 2 fights so far was gonna happen before they got announced, and they both got announced, and this would be the 3rd one. You know what I'm saying? That's why I was sitting here saying that Shakur had a November date. Like I said, man, it's a lot of stuff I be wanting to say, but I be trying so hard not to go left. I just noticed since I ain't flying these alphabets, these certain people, when they come to my chat, they got this weird ass energy, and I be real fair on here, but I'm gonna start letting people have it a little bit.
Yeah. You know what? Sometimes
flying that alphabet, I see people come through with a different energy and be like a distraction, more like they treat themselves like they the ops, and I don't even use that word, but you know exactly what I mean.
Yeah. Listen, sometimes you got to keep a troll-free zone by telling them, like, you can't play over here. Like, over here, this yard ain't good.
You give them what they looking for. You know what I'm saying? You give them exactly what they're looking for.
They come for the smoke, they find it. So Skill said it's a loss.
That's what people about to start
rivalries.
Getting. Right.
Yeah.
It's a loss.
Absolutely, Skips. It's a loss or multiple rivalries. It doesn't matter. We still rocking with Wilder.
Hell yeah.
Wilder could lose 17 fights, bro, and we still be rocking with Wilder.
You could lose the rest of the fights in his career, and people still gonna feel the same way about him. It's deeper than a win or a loss. Yeah.
Correct. Also, we got Boo Boo versus the Monster sometime in the fall. What do you think about that fight? What's going on, Thomas Hill?
Good fight. I think Boo Boo early could emulate some of the things that Caleb Plant did early in the fight. He just got to find a way not to slow down or gas late. You get what I'm saying? If you gas, then Benavidez is going to be his trouble. But I think as long as he's fresh, Andre is, I think that's where he'll have his most success. I think the fight could get a little bit sticky for him if he find himself short on gas in there, low on gas in that joint, find himself in some trouble. So hopefully some of the best shape of his life. So he get tired against Benavidez. That fight gets very tough.
This is his shot, though. This is his shot to be the star that he always wanted. This is the big fight that he's been asking for. Mm-hmm. So I think that he comes in tremendous shape, and he has to go out with the goal of trying to stop the Mexican monster. Because if you can do that, you definitely put a pause on what everyone was saying and what everyone was thinking was going to happen between him and Canelo. You stop that man in his tracks by knocking him out. You default become the man, and you deserve that Canelo fight, in my opinion. Whether it's for undisputed or if he has no belts at 168. Or maybe the belts go scattering after Jamel beats Canelo. Who knows? There's a lot of up and down going on in boxing too. Like, if this is our best year of boxing, 2024 is going to have something for us.
Say that again.
It's going to be a lot. I said 2024 is going to be something also because we might have a lot of belts scattered,
right,
in a lot of divisions. So a lot of fights are going to be made based on vacancies, based on guys fighting for belts that didn't have an opportunity. You might see a lot of champions at 135 in 2024.
Right.
Thomas, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just letting you guys cook, bro.
Thomas, what's good, Brody? How you feeling?
Hey, man, everything is good. Wonderful morning to you. Wonderful morning to you too, Jeff. Mm-hmm. My brother's in this game called life, bro. I'm doing well.
That's what I like.
I'm up at the plantation, bro. So it is what it is. But I just wanted to come on and say, teach him, my brother.
It's always good to hear from the fam in the chat, man. That's why I say we gotta do more panels. I'll be seeing you telling me to jump on the joint with OG. I'll be over there just listening.
Bro, he really won't, man. Hey, bro,
I rock with him. I really rock with him.
I did give you his number, correct?
Say it again.
I did give you his number, right? Because he really want to do a show. And I think it's that OG Boxing Talk. I think he want to start up with that again.
Nah, you ain't. I heard him mention it, but nah, you ain't give me his number. Nah. I rock with the OG, man. If people don't realize, like, it ain't too many people that I would take like a style from, and not so much a style. Do you see how his is a boxing forum? Like, you come there and you just have good conversation. He don't have to clickbait you to get you there. That's what I feel like. That's the way I interpret what he do. So he always look like he just having a extended boxing conversation. Like, when his live go off and start the next one for the next day, it's just a continuation of you get what I'm saying? So that's what I be trying to do. And it's a smooth approach that he got. That's why I rock with him. And he's smart as hell. I know a smart dude. That's a smart dude.
Yeah, he said that he would like to get together and do a show, man. Post a show together. So I'm thinking it might be that, because he said he was planning on doing it. And he absolutely loves for you guys to click and talk, man. Because, he gets so many people talking nonsense. He likes people with open.
He was
real talk, though, Jeff. You know. Every morning, bro.
He was providing the balance for me on here.
He said he really want to support people that got the show.
Right. I'm with it. I definitely jump on the panel with the OG. I rock with him.
Yeah, no doubt. So I wasn't, I know it's about respecting everything, and that's his platform, and you hold yourself to a standard as well too. But he definitely wants you guys, you and Jeff, to get on and click the link. I've been telling
Jeff, how I knew he was a little different from the rest of the dudes. He ain't know me from a can of paint, and he responded and reached out. And I'm gonna tell you right now, some of the biggest content, he one of them, but the guys that's up there where he at, not so much. That's what made him different. He ain't owe me nothing. That dude gave me an explanation, answered my question, told me whatever I need, whatever question I got, he got the answer to. He gonna give it to me. That was right when I was first starting. I remember that. I'm like the rest of these dudes, they'll leave your ass on red. They'll read it and don't say nothing else. They don't even say nothing. All right, I think that's like some weird shit to me. I don't like.
Hey, it is.
Let me not turn this into. Let me get back to the boxing, but salute to y'all.
Narrative.
Both
when narratives are created, your favorite may lose, yet you believe upsets when actuality you unintentionally omitted the logic. If everybody says the sky is green, you start to believe it. A lot of lies and a little bit of truth is a highly passive and dangerous as fuck. Absolutely.
I told you what I seen people doing with, people would think it's because it's my favorite fighter. What I seen people do on YouTube the last couple months, or I say month or so, with Shakur. Wow. I said, man, y'all don't love boxing the way I love it, because you would never put that kind of energy into trying to make a fighter, a quality fighter in a sport that you say you love, that you speak on every day, look like less than, to make a guy that you're rooting for look better. It's so weird to me. I'm trying to tell y'all, the more I talk this stuff, I think I got an even approach. So people kind of gravitate, people reach out. I get bits of information. I got like solid people that be in the gym with this young boy. And I'm telling you, if you hear the stories, not even the stories, you hear the things that go on in that gym and what this young boy mentality is. It's no way in hell you would think he'd quit in sparring against nobody. Shit is crazy. Got the lightweight sparring middleweights. Get what I'm saying? Full-fledged middleweights. You know what I'm saying? 14 rounds straight. Stuff like that, man. You just can't beat that. That's a real thing.
Just the real will always rise to the top. And more and more we talk about it, whether you get to make a bunch of fights, or whether you're up in everyone's face, or you're constantly being talked about on YouTube.
Right.
Cream will rise to the top.
Right. Look how hard. Look who got to 135 and can't get a fight. And think about it. People making that like it's a bad thing, but they're ignoring the obvious. Why are people saying no? Instead of saying nobody is ducking them, won't you just keep it real and say, why are people saying no? Why the hell is they talking about Lomachenko retiring and turning down a career high payday?
Hey, the always for the protection.
I'm telling you, the fighter.
We couldn't do that. We couldn't be able to do that. Black fighters wouldn't be able to do something like that.
Right.
They'd be getting the name dragged all up and down YouTube, ESPN. Max Kellerman would have popped back on and been like, Shakur Stevenson wouldn't take a fight with the great Lomachenko. I can see it now.
I could see all the other videos too, but I noticed people light on them videos. They light. I don't see a lot of Lomachenko ducking videos, but I seen the videos.
Loma don't move the needle. We don't got enough fan base.
Yeah, to be honest with y'all, all fanship aside, like this is something I say to y'all on the phone. And when I pick him to beat people, it's not about being a fan. I know that might sound crazy, but it ain't. When I seen that dude since about 17 years old, and my cousin told me like, hey man, you gotta watch this dude. He told me about him and he told me about Clarissa around the same time. He know both of them. I ain't never not watched this dude since. And I'm telling you, when I say generational talent, he got the potential to do it. He need the fights. He need the fights. I hope he get Frank Martin. That's why I say I hope he get Frank Martin. Watch how many people got to eat crow. And I hate to be so confident. Not that I hate it, but I like Frank Martin. But I'm telling you, it's different to me. It's different. You got fighters that are really good, and then you got people that had a potential to be great. And you get what I'm saying? And I just don't feel like a great fighter would have struggled with Artem. As respectfully, I just don't think so. I don't. That dude did nothing special. Like I just wish I could line up. Imagine Shakur fighting Artem. Just seriously, like with his skill set. And what Artem bring to the ring? Nothing special.
He an Olympian, Just. You gotta give the Olympic pedigree. If we're gonna give it for Keyshawn, we gotta give it to Artem.
Remember, that's how they be. That's how they be. He's an Olympian. That's what they said too. That's what they said. I called it though. I said it after he struggled. I said Keyshawn up next. I said watch the bias because I was very confident in Keyshawn. You see how they doubt him? They say he not good. I said I guarantee you he dominate this guy, dominate him, and they gonna still complain. What did they do? You got. They criticized him more for winning every round, dropping his guy, than the guy that lost 3 or 4 rounds. Arguably, it's crazy to me. I was like, yo, y'all not watching right. Y'all being fans, and y'all because you like Derrick James, you like EJ, your love for Frank Martin, it just go hand in hand. So you think more highly of him than what the reality is, and that's not dissing him. Is y'all make it sound like he's something that you never seen in boxing before. That's not that. He's a very good fighter, but that's not. When you look at him, you ain't like, I ain't never seen that before. That's not that. I'm sorry. It's just not that. But that don't mean he's very good and he won't give everybody to get in the ring with a good fight, if not beat him. He is that type of fight. On the right night, yeah, he could win.
So Skill says, make someone look less than only to make your favorite look better than. It's cute, but it's emotional assessment at best. Emotions don't win fights. Your skill set, intelligent, and hard stuff.
Talk to him.
All facts.
Talk to him. All real stuff. I told people, man, even when they Keyshawn and Frank Martin finally seen each other, what did I say people was gonna be saying? Keyshawn was scared, this and that. Look how unrealistic people are. You create a narrative that he was scared. They asked Frank Martin, how would a fight go between y'all two? He said, nah, what you think about Keyshawn? He said, nah, he's a good fighter. He said, it'll be a good fight. And then they asked Frank Martin. He said, man, I F him up, man. Like, so I'm like, he's saying it right to him. And then he turned around to face him to tell him, like, yo, you get what I'm saying? So I'm like, how y'all missed that part? One guy said it'd be a good fight. The other guy sounded a lot more confident doing it. I'm like, man, y'all just don't get it. The Olympians, man, they be telling you when you transition from a real good Olympian to a pro, it's you show me something. You get what I'm saying? Not everybody make that transition the same way. Look at Robisi. Look at Robisi. He on a tear right now, right? But he had them 2 gold medals, turned pro and lost his first fight. Got dropped and lost his first fight. He avenged that loss though, beat the hell out the guy since then, but it just goes to show you everybody don't transition the same way. And when I see a Keyshawn, I'm like, nah, that's a guy that he took that he got pedigree, man. And I just don't see why they think Frank Martin would just walk through him. I'm like, yo, y'all not being realistic at all.
I don't think he will walk through him.
Hell no, that'd be a competitive fight.
But I'm not gonna lie to you, man. If anybody don't go in that ring right, as we saw a couple of weeks ago, I mean, anything can happen. But I mean, my man knocked the snot out of Overwood, bro. That was so funny, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like he literally knocked the snot out of dude.
Yeah, you can he did. Highlights sell, man. And once you put on highlight performances, that's how you get to get billed. You can remember that statement that you just made, Thomas Hill, and you can continue to market that person. Like when you see that on the Jumbotron, you see it in the commercial about his upcoming fight. You're like, he did what? Oh yeah, I gotta go tune in to see what he's gonna do this time. Like Boots knockouts sell because they're devastating. The dude almost. I wish they had let Villa fall through the ring. That would have been amazing for the sport of boxing. Like if he fell through the ring,
yo, he was putting on a beating on my man Beard.
Yeah,
people don't recognize the freaking shape he's in, man. That dude is in superb shape.
Yeah, 145 at weigh-in for a 147-pound fight. That's crazy. Hold on. Then I got BVO, Human Troll, in the background. What up, BVO?
Hey, what's up, Just? What's going on, undercard?
Was good, bro.
I can't see my brother at the bottom, but you said
that's Thomas Hill, man. That's the OG, Thomas Hill.
What's going on?
Salute, BVO.
He's everywhere. He everywhere.
How you feeling, man?
Oh, we feeling
man,
good,
the only person that's everywhere is God, baby boy. I'm only where I can be though. I'll be where the real is.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what y'all think about Boots, man? Y'all think Boots gonna be able to compete on the top level as much as he play in the ring?
Boots,
Boots?
Absolutely.
man.
We
Boots
ready.
about to take over
Without
Marbury
question,
second,
bro.
bro.
He just did somebody that's legit, like it was a video game, bro.
He just play a little bit too much for me. He like to play in the ring. This ain't no game.
Nah,
I think he
no,
knows his
die
skill
BBO.
set.
That same plan that you talking about is why you know he a different level. Because how many people you know will be that comfortable playing like that with a guy like Vila? How you gonna put yourself in the matrix? That's wild. Look at it like this,
Versus
bro.
the guy that can knock your clock.
You know what they
You know, like
you know,
I know Floyd would never do that because he respected
man,
the sport.
you know a dangerous
Really?
fighter, a comfortable fighter or a dangerous fighter is one that's comfortable. You having fun in there, that's when you're most dangerous. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you can treat a threat like less than it's a different level of comfort that Boots got, and if you see it when he don't want to get hit, he don't get hit. When he do get hit, it's sometimes I think it's he knows how good he is.
Skills
He knows how good he is.
in these people
You know what I'm
today.
saying? So I think some of those shots that
Hold
he
on, fellas.
is simply because of that. He know how athletic and gifted he is, man. So he's a fun dude to watch, man. And again, you need a guy to know how to have fun in there because you're gonna get some of the best performance. Watch, I'm telling you. That's why you think Crawford like, man, I ain't fighting that dude for putting all my titles on the line and just
that's why it's a lose-lose.
Too much of a risk. Too much of a risk.
Way too much risk, low reward.
But the Crawford that we seen versus Earl will probably stop it. So
Amir Khan dominated Maidana. Floyd struggled with Maidana in fight 1. Khan is centuries below Floyd. The point: styles makes fight. Only ugly win is an incredibly misleader.
See, the thing is,
a human troll. That's what it is.
It is BBL with the difference between EJ and Boots. I know you got to be able to see it. You know, it's athleticism.
Somewhat skill. I mean,
a lot of that stuff that Crawford was hitting, EJ with. Again, man, Boots got he could put it this way: step for step, he'll be step for step with Crawford athletically. It'll be nothing that Crawford can do in there that Boots can't do. You know what I'm saying? It's styles. EJ don't fight like a Boots Ennis. Boots Ennis, I think, is probably one of the most athletically gifted fighters that we got in boxing. You get what I'm saying? That's
a fact. He is definitely that.
Hang with a Terrence Crawford. You get what I'm saying? They both had them fast twitch muscles and get what I'm saying, real quick reflexes. Errol Spence don't fight that way. He comes straight at you. You get what I'm saying? He come to break you. But I always said this, like, if Crawford was to be successful, he'd have to neutralize a lot of what Errol Spence do, and that's exactly what he was able to do. But again, man, that it wasn't that Crawford was so good. It just was EJ wasn't what he needed to be to compete at all. I mean, you can see that before he even took a single punch. And as I said this before, a lot of people can't have that conversation because they think it takes away from Crawford. Nah, you have to be.
Yeah, which it does not, man. That's the sad thing about it.
Right. If you think he's that much better than Spence, then you clearly don't understand that dude. Something was wrong with him. And again, punch resistance don't just go like that overnight. Not overnight. You get what I'm saying? Just not like that. So
two things I would say to that is, you look when you heard Derek James say he don't watch boxing, he got so offended. They asked that you watched Terrence fight before, and that to me, that kind of arrogance, that's what made Loma lose. I mean, that kind of arrogance is bad in boxing. And really,
it's not. It depends on how it's presented.
That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, when you come into the ring as if you got it all figured out, I think for a long time Crawford and kind of already had an idea how he was going to fight Earl. And I kind of thought about it. You really don't see a Mexican beat a slick black fighter. So if we being honest, other than Oscar and Chavez versus Mildred Taylor, you really don't see like a Mexican beat a slick black fighter. So really, Earl was behind the black bar anyway because of that Mexican style anyway. So it's like, no matter where he go, I just think, I think Crawford just got it, man. Too big, too strong, pause for him. That's kind of
I mean, it's hard to argue when the results was what they was, but I think the fact that people are saying a guy that was known to be a smaller guy is too big, too strong. That's
Yeah, that's wild, bro. Everything about that is wild.
real. It should tell you a lot about the fight. He was never bigger than EJ. You seen him standing each other
Never.
face, but on fight night, he damn near looked like the bigger man. So that tells
He
me
looked like the bigger man
just
and was
looking.
definitely way stronger.
You get what I'm saying? He definitely his rehydration process was shit bad, yo. Like you can tell and now looking at it, maybe that's why he looked so damn off. I never seen that dude with his eyes and the look in his face. I was like, damn, what's up with EJ? Why the hell his eyes look so damn? You know what I'm saying? You look like shit, bro. You look like you've been through it. You get
You
what I'm
know, it's funny you say that, man, because I was talking to a friend of mine, and
saying?
his mother was a functioning alcoholic. I
Right.
was wondering, was EJ drunk too?
No,
I'm just wondering if he drunk in the ring. I don't know. I
nah,
mean,
hell no. Hell no.
he didn't look like he was like in his right mind. I don't
But
know what happened.
that's why I say it's important for people to really take into consideration that them long-term effects of him getting into them accidents, man. Like you defy odds so many times until you don't. You get what I'm saying? I think you ran into I think a lot of stuff played against EJ. I'm just being real. Think about the time frame in which he still was at 47. Just that I said this to people before. Danny Garcia started his career at 140. He jumped at 147 about 2015. The fact that he made it out of the weight class before EJ should tell you something. He made it out of the weight class to 154 officially before EJ did. And EJ was still there. So I think when you look at those setbacks that kind of stagnated his process into what he wanted to do, achieving his goals, I think that kept him at the weight class way too long. And I know that's not a conversation people like to have, but you can't tell me that something wasn't seriously wrong with the guy. I mean, he got dropped with a jab or something like that. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that's wrong my ass, man. Like that's something wrong with the other guy.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but it's just like when you see a performance like that looked like Floyd versus Gotti,
And
and
exactly my point.
A guy that never been dropped too.
Do you think the skill level between them two is that much of a gap? Because we know that Floyd and Gotti was, but EJ and Terrence Crawford is not. You get what I'm saying?
Definitely not.
well, I don't know. It's tough because you only got two fighters that ever really beat a slick black fighter that got the Mexican style. So it's kind of tough to really say.
See, I don't look at Spence. I get what you're saying because there is some
He's a
credence to
pressure
that
fighter, but
Mexican
so was
style,
Porter.
but I think he's a lot more I don't know. Mexicans, like, again, he has the body attack of a Mexican to come forward. You get what I'm saying? He has that, but I think he got more, layers to him than the
Well,
typical.
all you really need, other than the Mikey Garcia fight, when have you not fought like a Mexican?
I mean, but again, you bring the necessary tools for the job. You get what I'm saying? You don't need to bring more tools out for the job necessary at hand. So, and he showed you when I need to bring the tools out, I can do it. I think he showed everybody in that Garcia fight that he can do all the boxing that people said he couldn't do. Everything I heard Tarver say that Errol Spence can't do, he did it in that fight. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't think he has your typical Mexican style. I think as far as that goes, just the body attack. You get what I'm saying? And
Let
I
me
think
ask you,
that
is
was
that a bad thing to say that to you? To say he got a Mexican style?
you said what I say he got a Mexican style?
No, what I'm saying is that like a knock to have a Mexican
No,
style?
it's not a bad thing, but I just think that saying he has a Mexican style is kind of limits him. I think he do a little more and that's not knocking them that come forward, he does that, but I think he adds more to that. He adds more depth to what you were calling a Mexican style. You get what I'm saying? Like
I mean,
that man will
this
stab
the
you
thing.
jab on your ass, man. Like
You're around the
Mexican
same
take
age,
on
man.
that.
We seen Oscar do a little bit of both. So
Yeah,
it's not when you
Oscar was
say
that
that
dude.
style. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying as far as other than Mikey Garcia was whether it was Ocampo, whether it was Peterson, he's always been. I'm gonna come forward, almost like a Marvin Hagler, but not as powerful. You know, where he's gonna come forward and he's gonna just pretty much try to drain you with the pressure. And I think if you look at him, the punches in between punches, that's a huge thing when you're talking about a Mexican style. And I just think Derrick James, whether we want to admit it or not, kind of got out coached too.
Nah, you can say that. You can say that.
Because you know what, people look at Bomac's physique and don't realize that, you know, Bomac got that boy. If you look at Terrence's fight, other than the names, like when he fought Victor Postol was a monster, and he went in there and just beat him to death. So I mean, I guess I'm trying to learn how not to be so biased, if that make any sense, on certain fighters that I like. So I think EJ and Ryan Garcia taught me that lesson, man. You can't have no favorite.
Yeah. EJ had a little bit more going on though. That's a real statement, because Porter is that same exact fighter that you described, and he definitely didn't look that bad against. In fact, he was winning the fight. Even with those 2 knockdowns, he would have been up by one point.
But you know what though? You remember Buzz said, if you get smart, I'm gonna hurt you. And I think he shouldn't have got smart with him, because he really hurt him. And really, you can say that Bud was playing with his food, you know, like moving the peas around the plate, because he really carried Spence for about 5 rounds. He could have got him out of there early if he got angry. I'm just glad he didn't hurt him as bad as he could have, man.
Well, I'm not going to speak on that too much, because he definitely was in the ring longer than I thought he would be, the way he was looking. Yeah. I do know Spence showed a hell of a chin though, because the punches that actually dropped him were the glancing punches. The ones that landed square, he stood up on.
Talk to him.
I got a question for you, Just. I really want to know your opinion on this, man. Do you see Tank having the nuts to step to a Teofimo at 140?
I don't know. I mean, as far as like having the nuts to do it, I feel like he fought at 140 before. I think he got the balls to do it for sure. But it's a matter of what's in their plans. You get what I'm saying? That dude really 130 pounder fighting at 135. You get what I'm saying? So the fact that he's comfortable there, to me, I don't have a problem. I feel like it's always gonna be somebody good for him to fight. But at the same time, you know, talking about Teofimo, he should. Like, who you think I favorite Tank in that fight? I think
Tank by knockout.
What you seen with Josh Taylor? And you missed the neutral. You missed
He
the
already got a day.
Tank a different beast.
Yeah, people
You don't think Teo is though?
Tank versus Teo.
You don't find out whose beast is
knocks Teo out.
I think you got to remember, Teo was a 2-time lineal champion, man, and he.
I remember, but accolades don't win fights.
I mean, but
not even resume.
I put it like this: if Tank had the same resume as Teo, they would be calling Tank the king of boxing.
I mean, they probably would, but Teo is one of those dudes. He is. He just so.
Say that, but a lot of people don't say that.
Because he too emotional, and that he turned a lot of fans off, so they have a tendency not to give him his just due 100% because of that. You kind of turn people off with your erratic behavior, and you get what I'm saying? Some people that ain't gonna never forget he said that keep the black fighters, and then you double down on it, dude. Like, you an idiot sometimes. So that he did that to himself. Just think about it. Not too long ago, this was the same guy that beat Vasyl Lomachenko, and people was loving him until he turned diva. So he did that to himself. You get what I'm saying? That's what Teo a hell of a fighter, though. He just be too.
When he said keep the black fighters, man, is that really crazy coming from a Latino? Because
it's an ignorant statement. It's an ignorant statement. You get what I'm saying? And I think for him, his focus should be, if you feel like that's what they do, favor these fighters. Well, your number one goal should be to fight some of these guys. And you get what I'm saying? What better way to fight that situation than fight those guys you feel like they favoring, because they will have no choice but to give you your credit. But instead of doing that, you fake retire like a diva, and then you come back and say a whole bunch of more outlandish stuff. It's like, come on, dude. Like, you got an opportunity to be great. Let's see it, bro. Let's see it. But I give him a benefit of the doubt because he got a lot of stuff going on in his his personal life. So I get it. And he's young. So he's young and still figuring it out. But I like Teo. I like him.
Yeah.
And he could fight his
I think it's funny when you say that, because when Floyd was saying the thing was the heavyweights, it's okay. But when Teo say, really his whole beef was Devin got $4 million. to fight George Kebab, to fight him, and then he got another 5, I think another 6, I think he got 6 or 7 million to fight Loma. So I think he was more mad about the money, because if you think about it, T.O. taking like the toughest fights. I mean, you could say he struggled against Martin, but I mean, really, you look at his whole career, man. Richard Comey beat to death. Loma beat to
You
death.
killing me with that beat to death.
John Taylor beat to death. I mean, it's just like, I've been telling you, man, when you go in there and beat people to death, man.
I be hearing him say that shit. I feel like this boy
he be dropping it, beat to death. I'm like,
he be like, man, he got beat to death. I be like, yo, what?
He walked out that ring just fine.
Nah, T.O. is nice, bro. Like he just gotta like he disconnects with the fans. It's kind of like how Bud be doing. That's why it's not that people don't know he's a great fighter. They would appreciate him more if I just don't think he connects well with his core fan base. And then the people outside of that, like, you get what I'm saying? He don't care to. So he is who he is. It's like Bud, love it or hate it. And I think T.O. kind of got that mentality too.
See, that's crazy, man. The Hawk and Marvin Hagler wasn't like the most people-friendly guy, but people love him. It's just crazy how that go, man.
I mean,
times is real.
That's because they beat. You talking about they beat this? They was beating the hell out of people.
Hey, Marvin was mean. I tell you that. Marvin was mean, man. I was watching him fight Roberto Duran. I mean, Jesus Christ, he just he want to kill him.
Yeah, that's T.O. problem, man. He just be all over the place. That's all. Just be all. And right back to that. Yeah, that's top rank that he need to be mad at, not the black fighters. See his anger.
Karma.
That's what I meant to say too. That's why people have a big issue with the comment. It's not like you was being like so racist or something like that. You just was you was being your anger is displayed. You mad at the wrong person. You get what I'm saying? You mad at the wrong individuals. How are you mad at the fighters? And again, you can't be mad at him. Him and his pops do good business. That's why he in a position to make that kind of money. You get what I'm saying?
Just come on. You know Devin Haney's a fraud, man.
A fraud?
When I say a fraud, what I'm saying is, did you see him in the corner when his dad said use the brick hand?
Nah, yeah, I put that in one of my videos. Trust me, I know all about it. I'll be giving him the benefit of the doubt, but in terms of Pops did business wise, that is smart. Pops got it figured out.
Oh yeah, he's like LeVar Ball. He definitely got it figured out.
He clearly got his son making, maximizing his earning potential, whether he is star or not. Like that's what people don't talk about enough.
Salute, my brother.
They don't talk about that. You might not be the biggest ticket seller, but he's able to make a substantial amount of money despite that. That's a win. That's a win to me. Like people don't speak about it enough, though. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know what type of game they run in negotiations, but him and his father been on the top of that since he been in boxing, bro. And I always tip my hat to him for that. But I don't think he a fraud. I just think this is why you need more 50-50 fights, right? Because we're more accustomed to seeing what those fights look like. And that's what you got. Like when he fought Loma, you got those moments where you seen him have to figure something out. You get what I'm saying? You seen his pops have to figure something out. I think that's what people forget. Like that was the first time they was in a position where they felt like somebody was figuring them out. So it was some learning. They had to respond a certain way. So I give them the benefit of the doubt. You get what I'm saying? In that moment, but that type of moment could hurt him against a certain level of fighter now. You get what I'm saying? I do believe those instructions that he gave in the corner were very minimal at best, but I felt like the fighter
and that's why I love you, Just, man. You a politician, bro. I love it.
But he took the instruction well enough to where he could respond. See, I look at things a little bit deeper than people. He still, whatever was said to him, even though it's not the sexiest soundbite, but I still look at the fighter and whatever was said, that was enough for him to feel like, okay, I could go out here and finish the job or figure it back out. So that's how I look at that now. If he would have said what he said and then he went out there and it would have been more the same, then you could start looking like, all right, it's an issue there. But I think the fact that whatever instruction he was able to receive in the corner was enough for him to feel confident about going back out there in front of that man. I give him credit for that. You get what I'm saying? He figured it out. He ain't let the fight get too out of hand because he had those couple moments, and that's those moments are usually when Loma start to take over in the fight. Devin Haney wasn't going for that. He stopped that shit from happening, and that What's
Yeah,
the difference between winning?
it's funny you say that because when I look at Devin Haney, he's like a man with no country. 1 minute he wants to fight like Jamel Charlo. 1 minute he wants to fight like Tank. And I'm telling you, his dad seems to be like using legendary trainers like Yoel Judah, Mickey Bay, Floyd Sr. And then he feel like once his son gets an autopilot, he takes back over. Like I heard Devin say that stuff you saying working. I just think it's like midnight. I don't know if you ever seen Cinderella. You know when the pumpkin hit midnight. I think at 140 it's gonna be midnight for him because even if he beat Regis, he might get beat to death by Matias or definitely Tio. I'm telling you, a beat to death moment is coming. I don't know why you laughing, but hey. But
nah, because you just said
man.
beat
That's what we
to death. This dude, yo, he won't stop.
He said beat to death.
Yo, Matias,
Well,
you
it's
might
gonna
not
be
want to
ugly.
like Matias. He caught him. No, I mean, he got
Yeah,
one.
it's gonna be a tough fight if he try to fight Matias for sure.
But look,
yeah, he'll get his lunch money took. I mean, he's gonna be fighting Regis because Regis looked like dog crap last fight.
I'm telling you, it's gonna be a grave mistake. Do not allow, because look again, they're only looking at one element of it, and I'm telling you that dude Zarilla has some sneaky power. That's different. He dropped Regis arguably. Did you hear what Regis said when they asked him? He kind of tamed him a little bit, and he hit him hard enough early enough to make him kind of think a little bit when he was getting in there. And when he was cutting the ring, the times he did it successfully, he didn't execute properly when he got there. So it further away from the performance. He just wasn't doing what he needed to do when he got there because he had a little something to think about. Now, Devin Haney can't put that out into his mind. The outcome of that fight is just different. You get what I'm saying? If that dynamic is removed from the fight, if you are unable to gain his respect, good luck with thinking that you're going to keep somebody on the outside for 12 rounds without them getting in your wheelhouse. Again, the only way to stop that is make somebody have something to think about. You got to make them respect you. And I ain't saying he can't do it, but I feel like that's something he has to do. Establish some respect. If Regis don't respect you, he going to get you out of there. And I know somebody that talked to him personally, and he asked Regis about a fight between him and Devin Haney, how he think it'll play out. And this is off camera. And he just looked at him and he said, look, he was like, yo, he ain't got enough power to keep me off him. So he like, yo, when I get in there with him, he ain't nothing he's doing is going to stop me from getting to him. And that's how he feels. So I want to see if he stay true on the words, man. Again, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to, but it's possible, though. I can see Devin Haney outboxing him. I could.
Yeah, it is possible.
And you got to remember, you can also see Devin Haney getting beat to death. I mean, the thing about Regis is he coming on 4 straight knockouts of cab drive. He knocked 4 straight cab drives.
Salute, Brody.
Yeah, that's a sound right there.
And really, people say what they want about that Josh Taylor fight. At the end of that fight, Josh Taylor really went to work on him, man. Josh Taylor took the start off at the end of that fight.
On Broadway?
Yeah, at the end of that fight, yeah.
Nah, hell no. I went back and watched that recently with my notebook and my pen, and I scored it round by round as unbiased as possible. I had it 7-5 for Regis, and I'm gonna tell you what I noticed when they want a fighter to win. Just pay attention to this. Y'all already caught on to Y'all probably already caught on to this. You will notice the programming that takes place with the commentators. You get what I'm saying? You will hear them. What they was doing was Regis will be doing work, but they would talk over his work. And I'm wondering, like, I know that's the commentators, not the judges, but I feel like that stuff go hand in hand anyway, man. Like they programming us on TV to kind of justify what the scorecard is going to be at the end of the night. Tell me if that ain't what you be saying. You hear them favor a fighter all night, and then when that guy win, it kind of justifies what they've been telling. It's programming. So if you don't think for yourself, they're gonna form an opinion for you. Like I went back and watched Loma and Jermaine Ortiz. Man, I completely understand. I should make a video. I understand why you don't like Shakur. I get it. I really get it. I get it. Man, Jermaine Ortiz was beating your ass, man, a little bit. Man, Jermaine Ortiz was touching Loma ass up, in that fight. I'm like, yeah. I don't think he's comfortable with these younger guys, and I think he sparred Shakur and seen something. And if you hear the way he think of him as a fighter, you'll know he got a ton of respect for him. I just don't think he want to lose. I don't think he want to lose again. I don't think he's scared because that's Lomachenko. I don't think he's scared of nobody, right? I just don't think he want to lose again. Not back to back. Them shits hit different. Back to back losses. They hit different. That would be the first time in his career. Just think about it. He lost back-to-back fights. Those always hit different. You can lose multiple fights throughout your career, but notice whenever a fighter loses back-to-back, it just hit different. you start falling into dangerous territory now. You know what I'm saying? You done lost 2 in a row. What you gonna do? You know what I mean? So I just don't think he and it's crazy, man. I thought we was gonna get that fight for sure because that would have been a good barometer for people that keep saying Devin Haney this and Devin Haney that. I'd have loved to see how Shakur would have fared against Lomachenko.
Yeah, Bob don't want that either.
I can just say this, right? With that fight, I can pretty much guarantee people, and I'm willing to bet money, that after the end of 12 rounds, people won't feel like it was a robbery. You won't hear nobody saying that. That performance, he either gonna lose straight up or he gonna win convincingly, and that's how I look at that. And I feel like he gonna win convincingly. Ain't gonna be no he only won. No, I think he had 8-4, 9-3 Loma. I swear I do. I think Loma think that too. That's why his ass like, nah, I'm cool. Bob Arum protecting him. Shakur pissed off. They got to move on. I hope Frank Martin is next. I swear I do. I keep saying it. I done heard too many people throw Frank Martin out there. I like him though, but I want to see it.
It's time to line it up.
Yeah. I hear it. It's time to fight, man. It's time to get that dude a 50-50 fight. A true 50-50 fight that people respect. Valdez wasn't enough for people. They don't respect the Valdez win. How? I don't know, but it's wild, but it's cool. Just beat somebody up, somebody else's favorite fighter up. Beat somebody's favorite fighter up. That'd change a lot.
I'll say this, man. When it comes to Shakur, I don't want to hear him talk no more, man, because he should have took that Devin Haney fight, man. You can't leave no room for excuses. And it's like he hasn't fought nobody under 30.
I keep telling you, man.
5 fights.
Yeah, the problem that people or the thing that people just keep forgetting. Everybody that's telling them to take that money, y'all gotta. It's no disrespect, man. You just gotta know the game and smoke and mirrors when you see it. That's smoke and mirrors. Do you know why it's smoke and mirrors? Because you're never going to see him fight at 135 again. That's the part that everybody are just like, they skipping that out. He is not fighting one of them dudes at 35 again, bro. It's not happening. And it shouldn't happen because it wouldn't be smart. If you know anything about Devin Haney, him and his dad are smart. They're smart businessmen. They move strategically. They're moving smart right now, believe it or not. You might not like everything they're doing, but it's smart. But I know smoke and mirrors. I know what's real and what's not. He told you what was real when he said who he wanted to fight, who he contacted, Eddie Hearn. That tells you who he was going to fight. He wasn't going to fight no Shakur at 135. Even though he said it, he just being a fighter. You get what I'm saying? He just being a fighter. By the time he go up to 140 and get a fight there, it would make no sense for him to come back down. That's not because he's ducking or he's scared. It just don't make sense. You get what I'm saying? And certain fans,
what I'm saying is if Sugar would have took the fight, he would have made no room for excuses.
It would have been one. They would have said he was Dream, bro. Trust and believe. Would have said it. It
would have been one.
He said the reason you feel like he'd smoke him is because he won't be 100% there. And he also said he ain't ducking him. He just feel like if it was at a healthier weight, he'd take the fight, which I believe too. He's not taking a fight with Shakur at 35. That's a smoke screen. That's smoke and mirrors, bro. That's something to satisfy the fans, and they jumped all over it. That's no disrespect to them. I mean, you play the game, bro. You in it to play the game. If you could win public appeal, do it. You get what I'm saying? But to me, when it pertains to Shakur, public appeal don't matter. I never seen a fighter get scrutinized the way he had for wanting to fight and just not going about it the way people want him to go about it. You got people at home telling another grown man how much money he should take to get punched in his face. And I said this before, the man made a chess move. He didn't let the business of boxing hold him for some belts that he would eventually had to pay for once he took him off the guy anyway. So I'm going to take crap money to take these belts off this dude, and I'm eventually have to start paying for these belts. No, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get my team. That's a very good team that people are not acknowledging, to go contact the sanctioning bodies, and I'm going to play the only card that I have. And they wrote that letter making a case for why he deserved better than a 75-25 split or whatever. What was it? 75, whatever it was. That's stupid. Whatever. That shit dumb. You get what I'm saying? So you noticed, and I tell people to pay attention to the timeline. Once he made that move, he made the last move. It went to shit after that. All the next move, they moved the goalpost. They started saying, he's asking 50-50. That's a lie. Read the letter. Read the letter. It doesn't matter what he's asking for. You're not going to start low in negotiations. You start high. And everybody knows that. But and in business logic, when it comes to their favorite fighter, you're not going to go into negotiations and start at, you get what I'm saying? What you want? If it was 25% before, what you can go at 30? No, you start high, and then you let them. Ultimately, it was up to them to decide what the split would be. Not Shakur, not his team. They could just write that letter making a case for him. You get what? And that's what they did. And that whole situation just went by the wayside. Why? Because they never was going to fight at 135. Neither one of them.
You know the funny thing about that? You got to remember, man, Floyd took 30% to fight Oscar.
Yeah, and 30 and 25 is, which one is bigger? Is 30 bigger than 20?
All Devin wanted him to do is pay some of the sanctioning fees. But I'll tell you who I got to talk to, silly man. This kid, Richardson. He's
Richardson,
man.
Hitchens, man. Y'all be our boy, man.
We all messed it up, man. We all messed it up.
Not me, man. Richardson, Hitchens. Hitchens is his last name.
That brother's terrific.
Hitchens, yeah, definitely Hitchens.
Hitchens. He's terrific, man. I think other than his power that worries me, I think he might be the next big star, man, boxing.
I've been told people about Hitchens when he was with TNT. They said he was nice, but they just wasn't pushing him. And I feel like him not having, being a puncher, I think that was the only knock on him. But I think now at 140, I think he coming into his own, he finding himself, and he hit hard enough. He gonna get your respect, and he can box. He developed more of an inside game. He willing to fight on the front foot more. He more comfortable in there. Like Richardson Hitchens is evolving right in front of you if you watching. You paying attention to how he fought earlier to how he fighting right now. It's a little different.
It is, but you know what? I think he just might be a pillow soldier, man. I mean,
no. He can, man. You see how he was beating up Bowser in his last fight?
But man, that's because of the placement, Gus. I'm talking about
he beat the hell out of John Bowser in that fight.
I mean,
he's more willing to sit down on the punches. Before he was more like a cat. He'd get you, get in and get out, and he still do that now. But he got that. He added that other layer to his game where he'll stand in the pocket with you, make you miss and counter you, and I like it. I'm like, yeah, this dude, he developing more and more. He gonna be one of the top guys, I think. And I think he's gonna beat Zepeda ass, to be honest with you. I don't know if he stops him, but he's gonna beat his ass though.
Yeah, he's gonna piece his ass up. I'm not gonna lie.
hey, I tell you what, man, you sound confident, bro.
Yeah, he gonna. Yeah,
he's gonna piece his ass up.
Hitchens really like that. He really one of the ones, man. Telling you, that diamond. I don't know why TMT let him slip. They tripping.
Yeah, they was really tripping. But I wanted to comment on your take regarding Mayweather and Oscar. Mm-hmm. Oscar was the biggest draw at that time.
Right.
And Mayweather was the person that you love to hate. Right. That was big money fight all the way around.
Right.
So taking 30%.
They didn't hate him back then. That's when he was still pretty Floyd.
Nah, they hated him. They definitely hated him.
I don't know, because I remember when I was playing, when I was young, I remember like everybody, back then we used to go to the football camp. Everybody white was like, that boy, Pretty Boy Ford is terrific. Everybody used to love him. I don't know about them hating him back then.
Yeah, the powers that be though.
I think it's only
those two. The two and the two small ones. Right there, on the other side of you.
They up top on the blue belt.
Sorry about that, y'all.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, Grandpa.
Yo, my bad.
Grandpa had to get him together.
Oh man, it's so early. I got me up.
Hey, but let me ask you this,
I
Justin.
apologize a little bit.
Nah, I'm always up though. I'm always up, bro.
Let me ask you this, man. Do you think we gonna ever see Inner win Tank?
Nah.
Nah.
I think people being prisoners of the moment, and I think it's just wishful thinking that Tank and Inoue fight. And let's be real, like, look, man, I love Monster Inoue. He a dog, right? Mm-hmm. But just think about the dynamics that have to take place for him to fight Tank. And it's going to be very different than what he's used to. First of all, you're not going to be in Japan because you're not the guy when it comes to him. So that's out the window. Ain't nobody going over there to Japan to fight you. That's number one. And then no disrespect to him whatsoever. But like I said, me hearing that story about how he flipped on Vada and that ended up getting the fight rescheduled, you won't have that luxury over here either, buddy. Like you that was cute. Where you pulled that over there, that was cute. But you come over here, that's not gonna happen, bro. You do something like that, and that's gonna be all types of red flags. So you're gonna have to take. You already know what Floyd said. So I just feel like, and then you talking about jumping up to what, a 35? Yeah, okay. And you gonna fight Tank? Yeah, okay. You sleepy? Somebody asked Monster. That's all I want to know. I got one question. Are you sleepy?
So what happens if Monster stops Tank?
Man, then the hell will freeze over twice.
Oh my God!
You go outside and see a unicorn taking off in the sky. That
shit ain't telling me this just so if Inoue had waves on the beard, you would like it.
Nah, I like Monster Inoue, but you could even switch it. Like I think that's too much to ask. Like people don't realize that that's a lot to ask that man to jump up to 135 and fight Tank. Like, boy, you'll get yourself hurt. Like, there are weight classes for a reason. Like, and I don't see him going that high. Like, just think about what his plans are. He's gonna fight Marlon for the other belts. He's gonna be undisputed. He's gonna probably stop him. He said he's gonna look to fight a Luis Neri or maybe a Casemiro after that. Fight those guys, then he'll move up to 126. 126, he'll fight Robisi. It's levels. Like he just not gonna coast through all those weight classes like that with no issue, in my opinion. You get what I'm saying? At some point, he gonna level out. Like, you punching hard, but you talking about going up to 35 and dealing with a Tank. I think that's just a lot to ask. You give him respectfully, it's a lot to ask. You know what I'm saying?
See what I think
about Pac-Man.
Say that again, Pac-Man.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, bro. I don't hate to say it because I'm a realist. You know what I'm saying? Look, man, just look what happened when he fought Floyd, and just think about the reason why that fight didn't take place before. I'm sorry, I hate it. I don't hate to say it like it's like I ain't putting a jacket on you, but it's a red flag. Like, I just use logic, and I don't care what nobody else say. If I say to you, we can fight, you just take Olympic style drug testing, and then you respond, I'm scared of needles, but you have tattoos. That tells me everything I need to know. Then all the years later, when you actually decided to take the testing and you got in the ring with me, it was like night and day in there. You can't make this stuff up. So I'm telling you, much respect to that dude. He's a great, but think about it, 108 to like 154. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. Do like what? Tank height. You about Tank size? Man, he little as hell, bro. Little ass dude. Like, just it's logic to me, yo. Like, the hell out of here. And then the minute you get in there and somebody got to make you take a drug. Prime example. Was there any testing for him and Keith Thurman?
No, but it was with Adrian Broner.
But the hell with that. Keith Thurman, because why I say that, because that was more recent, and that was the last time after that performance, people started saying stuff like he revisited the fountain of youth, stuff like, where was this fountain of youth for you guys? The guys fight. You get what I'm saying, bro? Like, I have an issue with that. Keith Thurman, you shot yourself in the foot like an idiot. He don't need to be. He could be on. You was talking crazy. Okay, you got in there, and all of a sudden, bro, look young again. He's like, I don't know. I just have issue with stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's just me. I ain't gonna go overboard and try to, put it on him, but I'll just lay out what I know is out there and how he moved. I think that's a bit funny. It's very hard. Like look at the way this man, little dude, beat Antonio Margarito. You want to talk get beat to death? Like, bro, he rearranged this man's face. His face still ain't the same from that fight, and I'm not joking. Antonio Margarito, I think it's his eye. His eye is still messed up from the Pacquiao fight, bro. This little ass dude punching like this, never getting tired. You hit him hard, he punches his own self in the head. Like, man, it's just, then you look at him. I ain't no doctor or nothing, but just over the years, all the stuff that you come across and you observe, man, and then you start seeing a person's body look a certain way. And I don't give a damn who you are. When you move up in weight and you fluctuating in weight and stuff like that, you don't look like you've been at the weight class your entire life every time you go up. Floyd didn't even look like that. And this dude is in tip-top shape. Just go look at it. Like he going up in weight. You get what I'm saying? He faced certain challenges. You get what I'm saying? Floyd got buzzed in fights more than just Shane Mosley. Like, that just was the most, critical he's been but hurt. You get what I'm saying? Or clipped. But he's been buzzed several times in his career, and it's usually when he's moving up in weight. But all of a sudden, this other guy, and that's a guy with the best defense. You're talking about a guy that's defensively irresponsible because his offensive defense is just walking through the weight classes and having no problem doing it, and don't nobody bat an eye. And you willing to think the reason that he's doing this is because he's so great, and it's the same dude that been knocked out multiple times, flatlined, all types of stuff. It's just, I have an issue with that stuff. Like, nobody is Superman in boxing. You get what I'm saying? And when people start referring to you as such, I start to look at you a little bit more closely. Like, hey, man, hey, you out here rearranging faces 10, 15 years later. Margarito look like Quasimodo. he got bro eyes still messed up. Oh, man.
I'll say this, man. I'm glad Sugar Ray Robinson and Henry Armstrong on the wrong during your time, because you probably said the same thing about them.
Nah. I mean, look, those guys were much bigger. Get what I'm saying? Well, Pacquiao just like, again, it's a reason why it's one guy that just navigated through them weight classes like that. You get what I'm saying? And they highlighted the way they do. That's not normal, is what I'm saying. Yeah. There's nothing normal about that. I'm just being real. Like, this is why you don't see it. Now, I know people want to feel like it's a diamond in the rough. You can have that. But my only issue that I will hang my hat on with this when it comes to him is when it came time for you to fight Floyd Mayweather and you gave that excuse like that. And then when you did it, how you got into the fight and how you looked, I know a lot of people want to say your age. Nah, you had decent performances after that. So it's like, I don't know. You get what I'm saying? It's just, I don't know. You scared of needles? I'll never forget that. How else they put them tattoos on you, bro? Like, which laser? Like, what? Red flags like a mug. You know what I'm saying? I always respect them, like, because some people will hear that tape, man, they unsubscribe from that. Like, man, I can't believe you just said that. But I ain't about to coddle nobody. I'm just putting out what's out there and how I feel about it. That's a red flag. Okay, giveaway. You know what I'm saying? We would have been got that fight if you would have said yeah to that testing. And I think what would have happened is you would have got beaten up even more, to be honest with you, because y'all would have been much younger. Yeah, Floyd would have beat your ass even more. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, define and then you just have to start paying attention to it. The slow decline and things like that. You go from a guy that never get tired to now you get tired. Now you starting to look you less ripped up and different things. You starting to look human.
Oh, you good?
The drop off be so like, you get what I'm saying? It'd be crazy. It's like, I don't know. One day you Superman, you knocking everybody out. Next thing you know, you laying on the mat sleep, playing with Marquez. And some people feel like Marquez was juiced up for that fight. Dude was huge when he fought Manny in that last fight. I ain't gonna hold you. Marquez was big as hell. And then fighting that last one when he slapped him like that. I'll never forget it, man. I'm mad I missed it live too, man. I just assumed. I'm like, oh, he getting there with Manny. It's gonna be another close fight and they're gonna rob him or something, so I ain't gonna watch it. Man, I turned the ESPN on my phone. That shit's loaded up slow. I seen a picture of Manny sleep with his hands under. I said, what? Damn, I missed this. Damn it. I can't believe I missed that slumping.
The one you don't watch. That ain't that how it go?
He put that boy to sleep, man. Bedtime story. Tucked him in. The only thing he was missing was a pillow and a blanket. He did Manny bad, bro.
You think Helenius
Margarito, another cheater. What you said?
You think Helenius can stop AJ?
Can he do it? He a heavyweight with some kind of punching power. So can he do it? Yeah, but will he do it? No. So it's like two different things. You know, at that heavyweight level, you know, all them dudes really with their right shot can knock each other out. But will he do it? No. I think AJ going to establish himself early and beat this dude up. I'm expecting AJ to be able to take him out of there. And maybe this might be too long. Maybe get him out of there sooner than that. But I'm saying 6 to 8. I think around that range would be cool if he just get dude up out of there. I think the last thing he want is a decision win. And I was saying it the other day. It's just important for him not to try to outdo Wilder. You don't got to do that. Wilder, you're not going to do that because he got him out of there way too fast. So you just go be AJ, do what you do, execute that game plan, be assertive, and when an opportunity presents itself, knock his ass out and move on. And hopefully we do get a Wilder Joshua fight. I know I done heard Malik Scott.
He was trying to prove a point when Andy had knocked Brazil. I mean, when Wilder had knocked Brazil on like that. I think he might try to prove a point and mess around and get beat up. I mean,
but see, that's a good point you making. I heard somebody else say that too, and I'm banking on him having his head more so than that. I'm banking on him understanding that would be stupid to do. You get what I'm saying? Or don't go in there and try to outdo Wilder. And again, that's the wrong mentality to have. But the better mentality to have is you can try to outdo AJ from your last elements. Yeah, outdo that. You get what I'm saying? Damn, where y'all popping off? Y'all popping off. Jeff, where you at, man? You know, undercard. I done took over the show. Margarita had Kodo crying blood, pack permanently damages. Y'all poetic. It was crazy. He said poetic justice. Make me want to watch that. I should watch Poetic Justice. Where y'all at, man? Y'all all popping off and shit. You're going to ask me a question and jump off. I gotta light my joint up there. You still in here? I don't know where they went. They popped off. Just do that. Took over undercard box. Undercard, where you at, Brody? Where you at, sir? He said Poetic Justice. Yeah, I should go watch that joint, man. You know, it's early right now. Fights ain't start yet. I think they started like 2:00. Trying to see how I'm gonna do all this today. I'm on that 4. Oh yeah, right. You know what I'm saying, Skills? They'll change your plans. I done hijack undercard boxing. You know, feel free to check me out. Don't drop some of my boys' joint. Where you at, man? Where you at, undercard? I want to pop off and just leave your joint on idle. These bulls got me up early. I'm hungry too. Y'all make sure y'all tune in to the fights tonight. It's gonna be lit. Nah, we got AJ Helenius. We got the return of Gary Antoine Russell. You know, he fighting Kent Cruz. We got Valdez Navarrete. It's gonna be boxing on pretty much all day. You dig? I'm trying to give Jeff another minute or so before I jump off. I don't know where you at. Where you at? Oh man. Jeff better get his undercard. Where you at, dog? I don't want to leave idle. I'm about to jump off. All right, that's my cue. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's my time. That's my time for today. I don't know where my boy Jeff is at. Where you at, undercard? It's good that had chemicals into his. I didn't even see that comment. So yeah, chemicals, and I'm adding to the performance. You know, salute to everybody in the building though, man. But I'm about to slide out, try to stall my boy. I don't know what happened. He got kicked off the screen. But until the next one, y'all, I'm up out of here. Undercard, holla at me, man. Be safe, be good. Appreciate you having me up. I'm out of here, y'all.